Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our round previews. Yes, our round previews. Now we are back for another big one. Round 16 is going to be previewed. But before we go ahead and review round 15 actually, got a big announcement to make. We are almost at 300 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So at the time of recording this, we are nearly at 300 subscribers. So if you are not yet subscribed and watching this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button so then we can get to 300 subscribers. Really hoping to accomplish that in the next week or so. So yeah, that'll be good. I've got an idea as well for the 300 subscribers special. So that's that's all planned out. So make sure to subscribe so then you can see what that idea is. Anyway, back to the video. So yes, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are nearly at 300 subscribers. Round 15 had it all. It was, of course, the biggest round of the 2022 AFL season. And we learned a lot, as we always do. Melbourne 117 smashed Brisbane by 53. Melbourne won by 64 points. It was really big. They won by more than what Brisbane even managed to score. The Doggies 125 smashed the Hawks 83 by 7 goals. The Eagles 107 get their second win of the season, defeating the Bombers 97. They win by 10. They win in Optus. Prime time under lights. Brilliant stuff by the Eagles. Carlton 81 defeat the Dockers 50. They win by 30 on the Blues. The Cats 89 get over the Tigers 86. The Cats win by 3. An absolute ripper. Sydney 83 smash the Swans 32. The Swans win by 51. The Saints, well, they might not make the 8 anymore. North Melbourne 58 get demolished by the Crows 115. The Crows win by 57, almost double their score. Collingwood 88 defeat the Giants 77. They win by 11. And Port Adelaide 93 get over the Suns 91. Port Adelaide win by 2 in a ripping game. Now to round 16 we go, where there's some really key matchups which could decide some teams' fate this round. So again, Thursday night footy starts us off for the round. Let's go ahead and get ready for the round 16 preview. Alright, so round 16 starts us off in a ripping game. Brisbane versus the Western Bulldogs at the Gabba. Now, this was the semi-final last year. And it was the Western Bulldogs that won by 1 point. I don't think that'll be happening again this year. Brisbane are third on the ladder, and they are in contention for the minor premiership or the flag. Doggies are 8th. They are still struggling, and they haven't had the best of seasons to date. Last week, though, versus the Hawks was really good. They came from 26 points down to kick the next 13 to win the game by a convincing margin. And Brisbane we know they were absolutely terrible last week. They've got a big hoodoo at the MCG and will be looking to try and break that. Now, Brisbane sit third on the ladder. Western Bulldogs sit 8th, which makes me make a pretty easy decision. I've said Brisbane by 33. I still feel like Brisbane win this game by a lot. They're a strong side at the Gabba. The Western Bulldogs haven't been playing as great this year, which I think will lead to a downfall. And I think the Doggies, they're not really going to fight in this game. Brisbane by 33. Now to Friday night footy we go, where it is Carlton taking on St Kilda at Marvel Stadium. Now for St Kilda, this is a prime game to get their season back on track. And if they can win a few of these games against oppositions higher than them, they are still a chance to finish in the top 8. But if they dish up what they did against Sydney and Essendon in the past couple of weeks, they are absolutely done for. And they can finish as low as 12th now. So that does open the door for a horrible St Kilda season. Back at round 11, we were going, top 4 for St Kilda, but it's amazing how things can change in a very short period of time. Just a couple of losses against some not-so-great opponents who are not even fighting can really change your season around. And with one of the toughest run homes in the league, it is going to be tough for the Saints to make the 8. So it has to start here if they want to make the 8. Meanwhile, Carlton, they're on a really good track. They've just defeated Fremantle at Marvel, the very same ground. They sit 5th on the ladder. The Saints sit 10th. Carlton, for me, I reckon they'll win this game by 29 points. I reckon they'll be able to get it done easily. I just feel like the Blues will be way too strong in this game. They've been really good all year. And I feel like they could even maybe make a top 4 spot as well. They currently sit 5th. But a win would be massive, especially if they can even chase the minor premiership here in Carlton. Now to Saturday, we go. A couple of big games on the Saturday. All of them really big. Essendon versus Sydney starts us off at the MCG. Now, Essendon, their form lately has been up and down. They were brilliant against the Saints. And then last week, they were horrible versus West Coast. Yes, it was at Optus Stadium, but that doesn't really give them a lot of excuses to make. They weren't very great defensively, leaking 107 which isn't great. So the week prior, only leaking 72 compared to their 107. So their defensive effort last week wasn't great. Sydney, they are a very good team in the competition. They do almost tend to struggle a little bit away from home, but again, it's Essendon, even though it was just a one-game shine against the Saints, I reckon the Swans will win this game comfortably. I reckon they'll win the game by, I think it was 35 my margin. So they've actually had some pretty big smashings to open up the round. But yeah, I just feel like the Swans are just way too good. They're way too good of an outfit. They've been pretty good all year. They've had a few downs, but they've been a really good side all year, and I reckon they should definitely have a final. And if not, well, I don't think they'll make the top 4, but I reckon they'll have a home elimination final of the SCG. Now to Saturday twilight footy, we go to the Adelaide Oval now for the Adelaide Crows versus Melbourne. Now, this does shape as a danger game for Melbourne. The Adelaide Crows did beat them last year at this very ground, this very time slot, this very day. Well, not this very day, but the same day, same time slot, same team, and almost same ladder positions as well. So you can't rule Adelaide out this game just yet, because Adelaide's very best can beat well any team in the competition, as we know from last year. And Adelaide, they could pull off the upset. They're a good side, the Adelaide Oval, so they could pull off this upset. But the Demons, they are the way better team coming into this game. They've come off of a 64-point smashing over one of the other premiership favourites in Brisbane. So that does give you a pretty good record to run off. And Melbourne it is for me. I think they'll win pretty comfortably. I think I said 33, I think. 33, I think I said 33 for this one. I feel like the Demons win by 33 points. Adelaide do have the chance to pull off an upset. Adelaide sit 13th on the ladder. The Demons sit first, but it's just very hard right now to tip against a team in form as the Demons. Now to Saturday night footy we go, where the first game of Saturday night footy is Gold Coast versus Collingwood at Metricon Stadium. Gold Coast sit 11th on the ladder. Collingwood sit 7th. This is going to be a ripping game of footy. I'm really excited for this one. This does be game of the round for me. I reckon this game will be game of the round. I think it's going to be an absolute ripper. And it's a 50-50. This one goes either way for me. There's no clear favourite. I reckon either team could win it. This was the last game that I tipped on for my tipping. This one was a hard one to tip because it could go either way. Collingwood, though, is the upset. Gold Coast are the favourites, which I do see why at Metricon Stadium. And they've been in very good form for a long time now. They've played some very consistent footy this year and are a crack for the top 8. And Gold Coast could definitely make it as well. Now, Collingwood, they are currently in 7th position on 36 points. They've made a lot of a better season than what anybody thought this year. A lot of people had them inked in for bottom 4. No, they will not be finishing 4. They've put together a brilliant season, and Gold Coast, same with them. So this one goes either way. I have tipped the Gold Coast Suns by just 7 points. I feel like this is going to be game of the round, a ripping Saturday night game. The other Saturday night game, not so much. Geelong versus North Melbourne at GMHBA Stadium. This one shapes to be one of the worst games of the round. Geelong are second on the ladder. North Melbourne are 18th. It's going to be a pretty sad game for North Melbourne, who will get smashed at GMHBA. I've said Geelong by 119 points, and you may be like, flaming footy, Geelong's not going to win by 119 points. But well, that's my bold call pretty much. Is that that's one of my biggest. Well, that'll probably be the biggest margin of the year that I'll be tipping is 119 points. Now, sorry, North Melbourne fans are watching this, but it's true. It's your team's not in a great state right now, and I don't see this getting any better for your team after getting smashed by 57 points to Adelaide at your home grounds. I don't see it being any easier to go to GMHBA Stadium and do any better than what they did against the Crows, so I reckon Geelong are in for a big smashing, and what I'm thinking is it could be biggest smashing of the year, which to make a biggest smashing of the year, they need to do it by 110 points or more, which is definitely capable for a team with Geelong's calibre. Now, Richmond versus West Coast is on the Sunday. Richmond sit 9th on the ladder. West Coast sit 17th. West Coast have had improvement. That they looked okay against Adelaide. They looked great against West Coast and against Geelong, sorry. And then they looked even better against Essendon. So they're building as a team at West Coast, and they're getting somewhere, and they're making a mess of a season turn out to be okay with maybe 3 or 4 wins potentially by the end of the year. Now, this game, can they win it? No, they can't. Richmond will be too strong at the MCG. Richmond, I've inked them in for a pretty big win. as well. I just feel like look, the Tigers, they're sitting ninth. If they win this, they can potentially go back into the top 8. I reckon the Tigers will definitely finish top 8 this year. So I reckon the Tigers will win this game by a pretty big margin. West Coast are getting better, and it's going to be interesting to see what sort of fight they can put up if they put up a fight. But again, Richmond, they've been really good in the past, 6 weeks, something like that. So I feel like this game, they will get a big win and continue their surge for the top 8 finish. Now to the Sunday Channel 7 time slot game, where it is the GWS Giants taking on the Hawthorn Hawks at Giants Stadium. Now, the Giants have been an okay team there. They've actually contended with some opponents there. They did okay against Carlton at the ground. They smashed West Coast at that ground. So they've been okay at the grounds. Hawthorn, you don't know when they're going to come out and play well or not. Last week versus the Doggies was a bit of a nightmare for them. And the Giants last week played... Who did they play last week? They played... let me go check. They played Collingwood in the same time slot last week, and they actually did okay. They made a last quarter surge to come back to only lose by 11 points. I feel like the Giants is the safety at Giants Stadium, which is exactly what I've gone for. I've gone the GWS Giants to win this game. I don't really see Hawthorn coming and winning this one, just because it's a Giants Stadium, and the Giants actually don't play too bad at that ground. So I feel like the Giants will win by a bit of a comfortable-ish margin. But it is 14th versus 15th. But again, I don't really see this one going either way. The final game of the round is going to be an interesting game for Port Adelaide and Fremantle. It is Fremantle taking on Port Adelaide at Optus Stadium. It is 4th versus 12th. And Port Adelaide, everything is on the line, especially if Gold Coast beat the Pies on Saturday night. Then this looms as a very big danger game for them. And they could, their top 8 hopes could be very small after this game, if not over after this game, depending on the result. Fremantle, they sit 4th. Port Adelaide sit 12th. Fremantle have played in this time slot a lot this year, the 3:20 WA time slot at Optus Stadium. They've been a very good side this year. Fremantle last week may not have been great, but they're not the best team at Marvel Stadium, and we all do know that. Port Adelaide aren't the greatest at Optus Stadium either. And they don't play there often, and Fremantle will win in this game. I reckon they'll win comfortably as well. I reckon they'll win by 25 points as well. I reckon most margins this game are going to be comfortable. I reckon every game, bar one, will be comfortable. I reckon game of the round for me is Gold Coast versus Collingwood, but I think Fremantle will win by 25. They've just been very good all year. Port Adelaide, again, as I've said a lot this year, they put one foot wrong, they get a loss, and their finals hopes are pretty much over. So if they don't win this, they'll be struggling to make the top 8, and they'll have to win every game from here to make the top 8, which is tough. And Port Adelaide fans, I don't know, but if you lose this, I reckon your season could potentially be over. Now, round 17, what have we got? Looking into round 17, the Cats and the Demons, the Swans and the Doggies, the Pies and the Roos, the Suns and the Tigers, the Saints and the Dockers, the Power and the Giants, the Lions and the Bombers, the Hawks and the Crows, the Eagles and the Blues. Now let's go back over my tips. So I've tipped Brisbane, I've tipped Carlton, I've tipped Sydney, I've tipped Melbourne, the Suns, I've tipped Geelong, I've tipped Richmond, GWS and Fremantle. Yes, nothing special. It's all the favourites this round. But again, game of the round for me does loom to be Saturday night. Gold Coast versus Collingwood. I'm looking forward to that game. That one's going to be an absolute ripper. That is also the Marginal Comp game, so if you want to go and leave your prediction for that on the Marginal Comp, go ahead and do so. Now the ladder, things are heating up. Melbourne 44 points to clear top of the table. But again, if they lose versus the Crows, that just allows the big swarm behind them, Carlton, Fremantle, Brisbane and Geelong, to all come up to equal points for them. It'll be crazy if it was to be 5 equal first. Can you imagine that? How funny would that be? That'd be crazy. But yeah, really big games, and if Melbourne win, well, then they'll establish themselves as top of the table. Sydney versus Collingwood are on 36.6 and 7, and then the Doggies, the Tigers, and the Saints are all on 32 points, with just one game behind them are the Suns and Port Adelaide. So some really big results are coming up, and yeah, a really exciting finish to 2022. And you know what? We'll get every team included. The Crows 13th, GWS 14th, Hawthorn 15th, Essendon 16th, 17th West Coast, 18th North Melbourne. So make sure to hit that subscribe button because we are nearly at 300 subscribers and we would love to get there as quickly as possible. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Send you guys when there is another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye everyone. Flaming Footy out.